very good day to you. I'm Ruben sir once again. I'm back with the lesson, a roadside stand. I hope you have watched my earlier video, you have subscribed and you had shared the video and you had liked my video, and now I'm going to continue with the rest of the poem. So please, I hope you have underlined from till where I had stopped. So I'm going to start from the rest of it. Please look into your books. It is in the news that all these pitiful kin are to be brought out and mercifully gathered to live in villages next to the theatre and the store, where they won't have to think for themselves anymore. So, this stanza, it is in the news that all these pitiful kin means the village people. That is the meaning of it. So, it's in the news. Now, it is in the news that these village people, now this is put in the news by the political parties for them to become very famous. So in the news that all the pitiful kin are to be brought out and mercifully gathered. That means all these poor people were given assurance to live in villages next to the theatre and multiplexes. They were given assurances, they were given promises that they would be taken from the villages and would be located in places which they would live next to the theatres and the complexes, the shopping complexes. Because if they live next to the theatres and the shopping complexes, they would be able to make a lot of money. The people coming to watch movies would buy some products from them. The people who come to these complexes would buy small products from these roadside stand people. These were all only assurances, these were all only promises that were given to them, where they won't have to think for themselves anymore. Where they would not have to think for themselves anymore means where they would be having an opportunity to live a good life. So that is the stanza, that is what the stanza says, that in the news, these poor people, these village people, in the news it is said that these poor people are to be brought out of these places, very mercifully gathered, very kindly gathered to places and relocated to areas next to the theatres and next to the shopping complexes or multiplexes, where then they will not have to think for themselves, because money would flow in and they would have a good living. The poet highlights the news that all these village people, here it is saying pitiful kin. It means the village people, the pitiful farmers. So the poet is telling us that, the poet highlights, he makes it important, very important in the news, that these poor farmers, these poor people are to be brought out. They are brought out from the places where they are and gathered in villages where theatres, stores, malls and multiplexes will come up. The government, the political parties have promised them that they will be brought to places in the villages where they are going to set up big theatres, multiplexes, shopping complexes, stores, where life would be very favorable for the poor village dwellers, for the poor farmers, where they would be able to sell their products very fast. In that case, they will not have to worry about life. So that is what they have been promised. In that particular case, they will not have to worry about their life. The civic authorities, the government, the civic authorities promised the village folks that the economic condition would improve once they live near the theatres. So the government or the civic authorities, they have promised the poor villagers was that once they are relocated to new places very close to the theatres, the shopping complexes, the stores, the malls, then the economic condition would improve once they live near the theatres and all these things. The promises are only a dream. It is only an illusion. These promises made by the political parties is only an illusion. It is only a dream to the poor people. Now the next answer is, while greedy good doers, beneficent beasts of prey, swarm over their lives enforcing benefits, they are calculated to soothe them out of their wits. And by teaching them how to sleep, they sleep all day, destroy their sleeping at night, the ancient way. Now here, while greedy good doers here means benefactors, people who are come out to help them. The so-called political parties, the ruling political parties. That is the meaning of here, while greedy good doers. Now see, greedy good doers. What is the poetic device used there? It is an oxymoron. Oxymoron is the poetic device used there. And also, beneficent beast of prey. The authorities who claim to give them benefits. The political authorities who claim to give them benefits. So the poet is saying that while these greedy good doers, while these greedy benefactors and the beneficent beast of prey, beneficent beast of prey means the authorities who claim to give them benefits, swarm over their lives enforcing benefits. They gather around their lives. They come and promise many different kinds of things to these poor people. They are calculated to soothe them. They are calculated to comfort the villagers. They calculate in such a way that they comfort the villagers out of their wits. They claim themselves to be very brilliant. That's the meaning of saying out of their wits. These political parties or these people who claim, these beneficent beasts, who they claim to come to the village and to pacify these people, soothe these people, to comfort these people by telling them many things, that good things are going to happen to them. What they do is, they think that they are very brilliant. They claim themselves out of their wits. To soothe them out of their wits means to comfort them, thinking that they are very brilliant. And by teaching them how to sleep, they sleep all day. And teaching them how to sleep, they sleep all day. But in reality, what will happen? They will destroy their sleep. Because in reality, what they promise is not going to happen. It will only destroy their sleep and make their lives miserable by taking away all those material things from the rural people. The people who come and promise to them many things, the beneficent beast, only promises are there, but nothing is done. They promise a lot of things to these people. They tell them that they will give them everything. They claim that they would give them the benefits, and they behave in such a way that they are comforting them, and they consider themselves to be very brilliant. But what they do is, they just simply, in reality, they do not do anything. The sleep of these poor village people are destroyed. What does it mean? They are not able to sleep peacefully. Why? Because they do not have peace of mind. They do not know what is for tomorrow. They don't have a tomorrow. What are they going to do tomorrow? What will they do for their children? So they will not have sleep. So that is what by saying, they come with lots of promises that the village people would benefit from them, but the city dwellers think, or the political ruling party thinks that they are very brilliant by doing such a thing. But all what they do is, they teach them how to sleep the whole day. These people do not know what to do. They have nothing to do. In reality, their sleep are disrupted. They are not able to sleep. Destroy their sleeping at night the ancient way. Ancient way means in the old way. So the paragraph is that the greedy doers and beneficent beast. Who are the greedy doers and the beneficent beast in this particular stanza? Who are those greedy doers and beneficent beast? The greedy doers and the beneficent beast are the authorities, civic authorities, who exploit these innocent people. These innocent people are being exploited. They come in groups. That is the meaning of saying swarm in their lives. They come in groups. These people who come to exploit the poor people in the villages, they come in groups promising the farmers various facilities. They promise them various facilities. But in reality, what do? In reality, they will destroy their sleep and make their lives miserable. That is what they do. They come with lots of promises, but in reality, they destroy their sleep and make their lives miserable by taking away all those material things from the rural people. And they take away all the material things from the rural people. Now let's go to the next answer. Sometimes I feel myself I can hardly bear the thought of so much childish longing in vain, the sadness that lurks near the open window there, that waits all day in almost open prayer, for the squeal of brakes, the sound of a stopping car, of all the 1,000 selfish cars that pass. So the poet says that he can hardly bear. See, he says, sometimes I feel myself I can hardly bear. Bear means tolerate. I can hardly tolerate. That is what the poet is saying. The poet says that he can hardly bear the endless weight, the thought of so much childish longing in vain. Vain is useless. Like a small child, when we tell a child that today when I come back, I will bring you a gift. And the child is waiting, longing for the gift. He keeps waiting. He doesn't even sleep. He's waiting for that gift. Similarly, these poor people, the poet feels really very sad. He says that he is not able to bear. He cannot bear the thought of so much childish longing in vain. That means the village people's useless expectations of city money. He is not able to bear the expectation, the useless expectation, the vain. Vain means no use, useless. They are simply waiting in vain for some city money. The sadness that lurks near open windows, that is, suffering that lies in waiting for a customer to appear. The sadness that lurks near the open window. They are sitting near the open window with great sadness, waiting for some car to pass and for some car to come and stop and buy something from there. But it is just like a longing of a child which is in vain, which is useless, that waits all day in almost open prayer. They wait almost the whole day, they wait as if in an open prayer. An open prayer means in their minds they are waiting earnestly for these people to stop their cars and buy something from them. For the squeal of brakes, they just listen to if any car has caught sudden brakes. That is the meaning. The squeal of brakes. When a car when the car holds its sudden brakes, there is a sound that is created, and they become happy when they hear the brakes, thinking that somebody has stopped so that he would come to buy something from the shop. For the squeal of brakes, the sound of a stopping car, of all the 1,000 selfish cars that pass. So selfish cars, okay. So I told you that selfish cars is also underlined. It is personification. Please underline that line. It is personification. So here, what does the poet mean in this stanza? I'm explaining once again. The poet say that he can hardly tolerate or he can hardly bear the endless weight of the villagers for buyers passing by. He can hardly bear to see them waiting so earnestly for the buyers who are passing by. The village people, wait is futile, means useless. This waiting for these city dwellers to stop there is useless. It is like a childish longing in vain. It is like a child waiting uselessly for something. That is what he says. The village people's futile expectations is compared to a child's longing. He is comparing that to the longing of a child. The useless wait, the waiting period is compared to the longing of a child, longing for things beyond his reach. Okay, that is sadness that lurks. There is sadness that is lurking there, is present there. There's a lot of sadness that is present there. The sadness that lurks has been personified. The sadness lurks. It is being personified as it lies in wait in your open window, as it waits in their open windows for a city customer to arrive and to inquire the price of the village people's products. So they are waiting in prayer, earnestly waiting in prayer for a city dweller to stop his car. And when the squeal of a car is heard, the stopping of their car, they become so happy, they become so excited that somebody is coming to buy some little thing from them. And the poet says, looking at these people longing for that, sitting in prayer, waiting for the city dwellers, is really unbearable to him. He is not able to bear this particular sight of these village people. Now let's go to the next stanza. Just one to inquire what a farmer's price are, and one did stop only to plough up the grass. In using the yarn to back and turn around, and another to ask the way to where it was bound, and another to ask could they sell it a gallon of gas. They couldn't. This crossly, they had none, didn't it see? Now in this particular paragraph, he says that even if a car catches sudden brakes and stops there, they do not come to purchase anything. They are not stopping their car because they want to buy something. Just one person comes to inquire what is the price. They just inquire the farmer's price. They just ask what is the price. They do not purchase. They simply come to ask the price. And one did stop only to plough the grass. And while taking a reverse, sometimes the car stops there because the car wants to change direction. So while taking a reverse and turning the vehicle, or to ask for direction, either they stop there for turning their car to take a reverse to the car, or to ask the direction, okay, of the city. And what do? To plough up the grass. You know what is the plough up the grass? Pull out the grass. The sudden breaks they catch. What they do is, the grass that grows there also comes out. But these people simply come there not to buy anything, but simply either to inquire the price or to take a reverse gear and turning vehicle, or to ask for direction. In using the yarn to back and turn around, what is the meaning of that? They use the yard, they use that open space only to stop the car and to take a reverse and to turn the car, and another stops his car to ask where it was bound, to which direction should he go to find something. And another stops to ask a very silly question when he knows it is not available there. So the poet is very angry at that time. What does the poet say? And another to ask, could they sell it a gallon of gas? Gas means fuel. And one of the cars stopped there to ask whether they are able to sell him a gallon of fuel. They couldn't. This crossly, they had none. Didn't it see? So this crossly means the poet is very angry. He says that they did not have any fuel with them. Did not the cars of these city dwellers see that? They have seen it, that there is no fuel with them. Then why do they stop to ask them if they have any fuel? That is what he is trying to say. So in this paragraph, they can ask you a question from this stanza, one question. Why do the cars stop at the roadside stand? That is a very important question. The cars stop at the roadside stand for only few purposes. One is to inquire about the price. Point number one. See, they stop there. Point number one, to inquire about a price. Point number two, to turn the vehicle. to take a reverse. That is point number 2. Point number 3, to ask for a direction where to go, to find out the direction where he has to go. And point number 5, to ask them if they have fuel. He wants a gallon of fuel, to ask if they have fuel when he knows that there is no fuel over there. He knows that he cannot see any fuel kept there, but still he stops his car simply to ask an unnecessary question whether they have any fuel. These are the reasons that the car stops there. So, if the city goer ever stops at the roadside stand, if they ever stop, they never stop. If they ever stop, what are the reasons? It is either to reverse his car, to ask for directions, or to ask if he could buy fuel for his car. Okay? And to ask the price. These are the things he stops his car for. And when he stops the car, there is great hope in the farmer, or there is great hope in the rural people that they have stopped their car because they are going to purchase something. But they become very disappointed. None of them seem considerate enough. They are not considerate. They don't have any sympathy with these people. They do not buy any products from them. And the villagers get angry. And the villagers, they really get angry when they ask for fuel. The other things they don't mind. But when they ask them, if you have a gallon of fuel, the villagers really do get angry, because they feel angry because they know that they do not have any fuel. Now the next paragraph is, no in country money, the country's stale of gain. The requisite lift of spirit has never been found. Also, the voice of the country seems to complain. It can't help owning the great relief it would be to put these people at one stroke out of their pain. No, in country money. Country money here means in village money. That's the meaning of country money. The poet says, no. In the money, in the country money, in the money that they earn in the villages, the country's scale of gain, that means the required quantity of money falls short. That is the meaning of saying the country scale of gain. Okay, that is what he means. The requisite lift of spirit. What it means is, money is considered as a catalyst to raise the spirit of villagers. Okay, folks, the village folks. So money is a catalyst that can raise the hopes of a villager. It says here, no in country money, the country's scale of gain. That means no, in the villages, the required quantity of money falls short. They don't have enough money. The requisite lift of spirit has never been found. What does it mean? Money is considered as a catalyst to raise the spirit of the village folks. To raise the spirit of the village folks. Also, the voice of the country. Voice of the country means the demand of the village folk. Or the demand of the village folk seems to complain. They seem to complain. Now what is it? It can't help owning the great relief it would be to put these people at one stroke out of pain. So the poet wishes to lift the poor people out of their pain, poverty, and endless misery. The poet is wishing that he could bring out these poor people from the pain of poverty, from the pain of endless miseries. But as reality is different, it is sad. The reality is very sad. So what does he think? He thinks that death at one stroke can end all their grief and sadness and suffering. That is the meaning of saying to put these people at one stroke out of their pain. He says the only remedy that you can do to bring these people out of this poverty, out of this endless pain, is to, at one stroke, at one time, finish all the village people, kill them, so that they would not suffer, they would not go through endless pain. So that is what he means in this stanza. Now I'll explain once more. Country money means village money. Now what do you mean by country money? Village money is the income. Now village money is the income that the poor village folks make. It cannot be compared to the rich people. Now the poor money that they make in their villages cannot be compared to the money of the city dwellers. Village people estimate the economic growth by means of small profit and at hand. Okay, that is country scale of gain. So what do the village people estimate the economic growth? They estimate the economic growth by means of small profit at hand. What profit they are getting at hand? That is the meaning of saying country scale of gain. With a small amount they earn, the village people could never experience the lift of spirit, as a small income can never give additional lift to one's spirit. It means that with this small income, the small income that they are earning, the small profit that they are earning, it cannot lift up their spirit. The spirit cannot be lifted. The soul cannot become happy. They cannot lead a happy life. And the poet wishes to lift the people out of this pain. And the poet is having a wish. He wishes that he was able to lift up the spirits of these poor people, of their pain, poverty, and endless misery. But as the reality is different, the reality is very different. He is sad. The poet is very sad. And what does he think? He thinks that death at one stroke can end all their grief and suffering. He feels that death at one stroke will be able to end all his grief and suffering. So that is what this stanza means. So in this stanza, no in-country money, the country scale of gain, the requisite lift of spirit has never been found. Also, the voice of the country seems to complain. It can't help owning the great relief it would be to put these people at one stroke out of their pain. So here, country money means village money. Is the income that the poor people or the poor village folks make. This money cannot be compared to the profits and the huge amount of money that the city folks make. Now, village people, what do they estimate? Their income growth. Now, how does they estimate the income growth? By the small profits that they earn, the small amount that they earn. Village people could never experience to lift of spirit, as a small income can never give additional lift to one's spirit. And the poet feels very sad for these people. He wishes that he was able to lift them out, lift up their spirits, bring them out of this poverty, bring them out of this endless misery. But in reality, he cannot do anything. The only thing that he can do is, he says, if we want to bring these poor people out of their misery, there is only one thing that you can do. And what is that one thing? To put these people at one stroke out of their pain. And the one thing that you can do is that death at one stroke immediately can end all the grief and suffering. And now we come to the last stanza. And then the next day, as I come back into the same, I wonder how I should like you to come to me and offer to put me gently out of pain. So here he says, and then the next day. Okay, so next morning. That is the meaning of next day. So the poet says, and then the next day, as I come back into the sane. Sane means sense. So the next day, when I wake up, and when I come back into my senses, I wonder how I should live, like you to come to me. I would wonder how you would come to me, realizing my pain, realizing my feelings for these poor people. I would like you to come to me. Okay, I would like you to come to me and offer to put me gently out of pain. The poet's pain is that the poor people are still waiting for rich people's generosity. That is the pain of the poet. The poor people are still waiting for the rich people's generosity. and that the rich people never help the poor people come out of their poverty. So the stanza, what he means is, but next morning, and then the next morning, when he comes to his senses, he says, the next morning when he comes to his senses, he realized that the earlier thought of death being the only solution to come out of poverty is useless. So the next day, when he wakes up, the earlier stanza he says that the only way you can bring these people out of their poverty and endless misery is put them to die at one stroke. Kill all of them at one stroke. But the next day, when he awakes and he comes back to his senses, then immediately, what does he remember? The thought of death, what he thought earlier, being the only solution to come out of poverty is useless. The thought of putting them to death, bringing them out of the poverty is a useless thing, and decided that only one section of the people can help them, and that is the government. That is what he says. And that only the government can uplift the miserable condition of the village folks. So next day when he wakes up and when he comes to his senses, he thinks about what he thought the earlier day, that they could do only one thing to bring these poor people out of their misery is by killing them at one stroke. And that thought was useless. It is not correct of him to think like that. There is only one sector of people or one section of people, the government. They are the only people that can bring out these poor people out of their miseries, the village folks out of their miserable condition. The poet's pain is the huge gap. The poet's pain, what is the great pain in the poet? There is a big gap between the rich and the poor. That is the biggest pain in the poet's heart. So the biggest pain in the poet's heart is the difference, is the gap between the rich and the poor. The poet appeals to the party in power. So the poet is appealing to the political party that is in power. What is he appealing? To relieve these farmers out of their pains. He's asking them to do something for these poor farmers so that they will also be able to live a very decent, happy life just like the other people. Even if they do not have that enough of money or that rich as the city dwellers, at least they would not be hand to mouth. They would not have living in poverty. They would also be able to live a very decent life. So I hope that you understood this poem. You understood all the poetic devices. You understood the complete paraphrase of this poem and all what I have explained to you. And I hope you have really enjoyed my class. Please do subscribe. Please do share. And I would come back to you with another poem next time or another lesson. Till then, bye.